Greetings from Underbrook. I'm Bill Meeks.
And I'm Anne-Marie DeSimone.
And this is The Absence of Emma's Issues. You mean other than that baby in your belly. We also talk about ABC's hit series Once Upon a Time. How you doing, Anne-Marie?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. I don't have a baby in my belly tonight.
Neither do I.
Excellent.
I don't even have a burrito baby.
Then we're 2 for 2. Definitely. Okay, so, if people aren't aware... Oh, also, by the way, we do have our chatters here over at live.universebox.com who come join us every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. ET now, Eastern Time at live.universebox.com. We have Monica and Angel and Hope and I believe the unseen viewer. And a couple more people will probably pop in there in a minute.
Sure.
They always refresh right after we start. So, it happens. But we also, Anne-Marie,
Bill.
have yet another deep cut guest that we haven't had on in forever.
I don't think since Wonderland.
No, I think it's been since Wonderland. Although her voice appears very often on the show about a week late. Pretty much every time.
She likes to give us a recap on last week's episode.
Anne-Marie, why don't you introduce our guest?
This week, our guest is Dawn Owar. Hi, Dawn.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
Yay.
It's so nice to have you here. It's been
thank
forever.
You. Yes.
I believe the last episode we had with you was a Wonderland episode where we recorded the whole thing, and then I lost the entire recording, and we had to do it over again, right?
And then we tried flipping it on her and having me host and you be the not-so-hosty person, and we didn't tell her.
I forgot
because
about
we wanted
that
to think
part.
of a way to keep it fresh. Instead, it was
we all did it really, really fast. We all talked really, really fast. It was like the fastest episode ever.
I think we did because we were like, we don't know what's going on. Let's just get it over with.
We didn't even switch out our points. Because,
No.
we just used the same. Oh, remember that conversation we had a while ago? We're going to have it again.
We're going to do that again.
But more boring this time. So Dawn, it's been a while. How's it been going? And why don't you go ahead and sum up your thoughts on the last few seasons of Once Upon a Time for us in about 30 seconds.
Well, I've been watching, and honestly, I've been like kind of disgruntled because I felt like they weren't telling. They come up with great ideas and then they wouldn't tell the story.
Yep.
It was making me crazy, and I would watch it anyway, and I would listen to your podcast, and I would call in and give you my thoughts, but none of it mattered because I never told any of the stories.
Well, I don't know if you've been listening lately, but we've been a little gruntled ourselves.
We
or
have been a
disgruntled.
little.
Not gruntled.
What's gruntled?
I don't know what gruntled
Is gruntled a word, or is it just disgruntled?
I don't know. We should Google that because we're
Let's
live
not
on the internet.
Let's not play Anne Rand Bill Google things.
Define gruntled. Okay, let's see here. Satisfied, pleased, and contented. So yeah, it is the opposite of disgruntled. The more you know.
Interesting.
Okay, well, I guess we should go ahead and get started doing what we came here to talk about.
What? We didn't come here to talk about vocabulary?
We didn't. This is not greetings from Vocabulary Land. This is greetings from under Storybrooke. So why don't we go ahead and why don't you get started with the rhyming episode summary, Anne-Marie?
Oh, and I didn't actually read that, did I? Okay.
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise for everyone. Belle's father's kingdom is under attack. Ogres are coming, and she won't do jack. Hades gives Gaston some magical arrows and hopes he'll put Rumple in damp barrows. A hero to Belle is concerned with compassion. It's hard when hopelessness is so in fashion. Her kill count ticks up to greater than 0 when she saves the life of her handsome hero.
A handsome hero!
Yay.
Yay!
I love that part.
Dawn, what'd you think?
Overall?
Yeah, just an overall impression.
Oh, well, okay, this was I got so lucky that this is the episode that you guys let me podcast with you because I liked it.
Excellent.
It is always more fun when you like it versus when you're like, hater it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I liked it up until the last minute or so.
Yep.
The last minute kind of made me go, I feel another Canadian bootleg coming.
I sense a Canadian bootleg in the air.
But Anne-Marie, what'd you think about it overall?
I liked it on the first watch through. However, on the second watch through, my likeage went down a little.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising. Usually, if anything, your likeage goes up.
My likeage does usually go up. It wasn't bad. It was nice to get a Belle episode. It was fun to giggle and go, "You're so pregnant," when they're covering it up. But they did such a better job covering her up than they did with Ginny Goodwin when she was pregnant.
Yeah, that was just like a lot of bad close angles and stuff, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
That was just... It was a bad jacket they chose for her. This, they learned. They got like a maternity clothing person. So, anyway.
Definitely. You know one thing I'll say, and I didn't make it into my notes, but I felt like Robert Carlyle was really enjoying playing the character again, which I haven't felt like that way in a long time.
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like he was having a lot of fun. Doing his job, you know.
I have things on his, but yeah, it was definitely nice to see.
Definitely.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and get into my first point here, which I wanted to talk a little bit about Rumple and Merlin's prophecy. Now, I'd almost completely forgotten about Merlin's prophecy because, you know, it's been last half season and it kind of fell on the wayside.
Well, it's been about 6 months.
Well, I think when we heard it, I think we were interpreting it that it was going to be Emma, and that came and went.
Yeah.
So you know, I'd completely forgotten about it, but I'm wondering, you know, could Rumple actually be the one who turns darkness into light? You know, in this episode, he shows he's willing to go there, but not until he saves Belle and the baby. He's more than willing to lean into the darkness until he gets that done. You know, I'm wondering, you know, maybe that's their true end game here. Maybe that's why they took the darkness from him last half season, only to give it back to him and seem like a complete character reset. Maybe it's so he can become the greatest hero of all.
Interesting.
That would make it a much more compelling arc, and I'd almost forgive them for what they did with Rumple in the mid-season finale.
Yeah, I don't know.
I still think they changed their mind. Like
Yep.
they were gonna go that way,
Yeah,
and they decided not to.
They got the bad fan reaction.
But that's the thing. I think that's completely their fault. People were pro Dark Swan. We were all about the Dark Swan. They just didn't actually go dark with it. They took so long to explain how she truly became the Dark Swan. Like, what was it, like the episode before the mid-season finale, or even was the mid-season finale before she had the costume change, which is like the sign.
And besides not letting Hook die, she never did anything all that dark either.
She didn't do anything.
Well, she was controlling Merida, but
she had a really mean looking hairdo.
I loved it though.
She looked awesome. That's all she did, though.
She did.
She really she rocked the costume.
She did.
You know, speaking of prophecies, though, one thing that this kind of put me in mind of, I wonder, you know, if Rumple ends up becoming this great hero, if this is going to be the true interpretation of the prophecy that he got from the blind seer back in the day, that the boy will be your undoing. Maybe these events that Henry set in motion isn't going to cause his downfall. It's just going to cause dark magic's downfall and cause dark magic to be gone.
Oh, you can literally take the boy will be your undoing to be anything.
You can, and we have at this point because it's been floating around so long.
I know, it's been around for like, what, 4 seasons or something?
We were like, it was about the Jabberwocky from Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Oh my goodness. It was about the little boy rabbit.
Nice. One more thing I just wanted to mention real quick. I wonder, it kind of felt like the mirror that Belle had in the flashback in this episode might have been a bit of foreshadowing. I'm wondering if maybe Belle could use that mirror to verify Rumple's true intentions moving forward. Or, you know, if he, you know, says, hey, I turned the darkness to light. I totally did. She can be like, I'm going to check you, fool. You know, so
I'm going to check you, fool.
I am going to check you, fool. That's my Emily DeRaven impression. But I definitely think that's a possibility, unless she doesn't care because she's going to take a major dark turn, which I'm kind of hoping for, and I'll talk about it a little bit later.
Okay.
And I also thought it was funny that he was like, you know, just let me use a little dark magic, you know, very much falling into that addict stereotype.
Yeah.
Kind of like, just give me one more hit, man. One more hit just to get me through till morning, and then I'll go to the methadone clinic, you know? But
I enjoy that you use the full word methadone.
Methadone?
Versus just meth, like most people.
Well, they're different things.
Are they?
Yeah, methadone, I believe, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Here.
This is irrelevant.
This is...
Tangents! Sparkly things!
This is not greetings from the methadone clinic.
It's the magic clinic.
It's a very magical clinic.
Definitely. Dawn, before we move on, did you have anything you wanted to add about Rumpelstiltskin?
Oh, now I feel like I'm under pressure to say something.
You
but
are.
I don't.
You absolutely are. My
okay,
finger's on the hang up button right now.
No hang up
because
button.
I mean, like, all right, I've accepted. Yeah, okay, he's dark again. You know, I'm over the part where I'm like, why did they do that? Like, we'll just go with it. And now they're telling me a good story, so it's good enough.
That's fair. That's fair. You're understanding about it. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, let's see here. Over here in the chat room, let's see. Hope says, I don't like that they're offing the once a week characters. I want to see them stay longer and have those repercussions of the main cast actions. You know, I was actually, and this isn't in my notes, but I was thinking about this. What if the heroes, you know, sending all these people to the great beyond and everything, and we see it kind of go back and forth here, but we see that it spawns a flower in Underbrook. What if eventually they win the day and they bring life to Underbrook, and everyone in Underbrook comes back alive? Or comes back to life, thereby meaning that they actually permanently killed all of the characters they sent to the great beyond. To they technically killed them because they brought everyone else who was dead back to life. So those people can't come back to life now because they're often on their boat.
They're on a cloud
or Olympus,
because everybody has a different heaven.
Yeah. So just something that crossed my mind while I was watching the episode. Like, maybe that's like the end game here. Maybe they bring everyone back. Everyone who's left in the underworld by the time they're done anyway. Maybe that's why such big characters are all going to their great beyond. So they don't have to become series regulars and appear in once every 6 episodes.
Yeah. Well, I mean... Well, now I have an understanding as to why Hercules had to go, because he's on another show. So... No, there's that. Okay, moving right along. A little bit more Rumple action for you. Mm-hmm. So he yells at Belle. So you get to judge, you know, with the... Let me try that again. Point teeth back in. You get to be the judge of when the ends justify the means. When she's like, hey, can you magic this open, after giving him a big long spiel that he shouldn't use his magic? Mm-hmm. Like, that was rude. Like,
it's fine when it's good for Belle.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like, I need to go in here, but you're breaking into his things. It was just, Belle was very my way or the highway in this episode, which I usually like, but she was being kind of snotty about it. I felt she was being snotty, and that is not in her, well, typical character, I don't think, to be terribly snotty. Let's see what it was using Rumple when it was convenient and fit her moral standard, but he wanted to use magic in his way and to his moral standard, and she was like, no. You can't do that. Yeah. That annoyed me.
Yeah, seriously, who died and made Belle queen? Oh wait, her mom. Sorry.
It's kind of true, but her dad's still alive, right?
Yeah, her dad's still alive.
Then she's probably not the queen, because he's technically the king. But no, she never married Gaston. So, okay, anyway. Okay, let's see. She did kind of get her just desserts, because by using her means, she pushed Gaston into the River of Souls. Granted, she was to save her husband. So there is, you know, that. But it was quite convenient that the River of Souls is in the harbor, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Harbor of Souls.
Yeah, right? Like, what if somebody just wanted to go swimming and didn't know? Like, what if Henry's like, hey, I'm going to go do some laps and get a workout in because we're not doing anything else. And then he's dead. Like, imagine if that would have happened sometime. I don't know. Just saying. Yeah,
but I definitely enjoyed, though, that Rumple kind of called Belle out on her hypocrisy there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the modus operandi for him this season. Is just he's calling Belle out on everything she's done. He feels wrong by her, and he feels that she's done wrong in doing so. And he's finally, you know, telling her why, and instead of just trying to scrape together the relationship. He's like, you know, if this is going to work, we need to be upfront with each other. I need to tell you what I have wrong with you. You've told me what the problems you have with me, and let's kind of move on from here.
Yeah.
Dawn, you wanted to talk a little bit about Belle, too. By the way, your video went away. I don't know if you can bring it back or not. If not, we have that lovely picture of you in the pink Power Ranger t-shirt.
Yeah, that's probably better. I have no idea how to bring the video back. I don't know where it went.
There should be like if you wave over the Skype window, there's a little video icon.
There does not appear to be one.
Okay, well then we'll go with the Pink Power Ranger then. But yeah,
I'm installing device drivers.
Oh no, yeah, we don't need that.
Ooh,
Skype's updating.
nice.
Well, that's convenient.
Perfect.
Well, let's just talk about Belle until it decides to be cranky.
Right. Well, okay. I agree with everything you said about Belle. So I don't want you to think I didn't. But at the same
you're wrong.
rate, I was so happy to see Belle get her episode where they told her story finally.
Right.
This is what we've been waiting for since the introduction of Belle, right? Like. At least I was anyway.
Right.
That Belle actually did stuff.
Yes.
She wasn't asleep. She wasn't babysitting. She wasn't doing whatever that was in the ice cave. She was acting like Belle, and I really liked it. She wasn't just acting like Belle, but Rumple was acting like Rumple, and everybody was acting like themselves. And even well, Emma, she's got her issues, but like everybody
She's got a truckload of issues.
She's got too many issues.
No, didn't you hear her? She doesn't have any issues.
Oh, Emma.
I was really happy to see everybody acting true to their character. I feel like that's the first time in a long time we've got an episode where the characters were doing the sorts of things you would think they would do.
Yeah.
So that was a victory as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, it totally made sense. And it was nice to get more Belle backstory. I thoroughly enjoy her in that world. Like we've gotten what 2 or 3 stories of her, like ever. So, you know,
right.
Seeing
She's just been hanging out, like babysitting
and sleeping. But they show
hanging
her
out, whatever she was doing with Will, which nobody cares about anymore.
But we did. That's
They were
the
just
thing.
walking around holding hands.
Well, but that's the thing. Like, we did care about that story. We just never got it. Everyone cared about it. We just didn't get it. So I'm sure somebody out there wrote their own.
Yeah, I still want to know what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who knows what he's doing now? I think
He's
he's on
on a
another.
show.
Yeah, he's on another series now, isn't he?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did feel like it's the first episode this half season that felt like an old episode. Like I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed, some of the best episodes from season 2, 3, 4, for sure.
There was good episodes in season 4.
Yeah, the entire author arc was.
Oh,
pretty
the
good.
author stuff, that was season 4.
Some of that was good.
They have all blended together into one. It's like season 1 and then the rest of it.
Yes.
That's what my head has done.
That's because we've only done the commentaries for season 1.
It's true. Maybe that's why.
Season 1 and Racy Lacey and a couple more episodes.
Lacey.
But let's see here. Over here in the chat room, Angel T says, I do like that he, being Rumple, is actually being upfront about things now. Like in previous seasons, he would just constantly lie or other characters wouldn't learn the truth till later. But as soon as Belle showed up, he instantly told the truth.
I did appreciate that.
Yeah, and Amy P says, I agree. Hope, not sure what Hope said, but...
that she cared about what happened with Belle and Will.
Yeah, and then Amy says, I love the way that she kicked out of town, but hated the fact that she took him back.
Yep.
Very, very, and Amy P is one of our prolific Rumbellers, so take her word as it is for sure. Okay, Anne-Marie, we're going to get back to talking more Once Upon a Time.
Yay!
Before we do that, we should tell people about our Patreon, right?
Yay! Yes. Hi, we have a Patreon over at patreon.com/universebox.
Yes.
It's a nice and simple way for you to make donations towards our fabulous podcasts. Greetings from Storybrooke, Legends of Gotham, and We're So Lost.
We're So Lost, the Lost podcast.
The Lost podcast, in case you weren't aware.
Watch it again for the first time, because we're watching it for the first time.
Ooh, that's good. We should have recorded that for something.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can start donations as low as 10 cents, and that's going to get you a whole barrel full of rewards, such as all of Bill's books for free. Depending on what you do donate, you'll get a handwritten letter from us. We'll sing you a song. We throw a party, a hangout, but it's kind of like a party because we all bring our own booze. Every week or every month, not every week. Too much recording.
Yeah, which by the way, we just did one of those patron hangouts this past week or so. That goes out on the old Universe Box feed as a podcast if you want to listen to it in audio form.
Yes.
But Universe Box is great. We currently have 28 patrons currently giving us $124 a month.
Woohoo!
which it's more, but they say that.
It's
I don't know
more
why.
and it's it varies every month.
Yeah, they fudged the number now based on a bunch of weird stuff that we won't even get into here. But we love all 28 of you equally.
Yes.
Except for number 24, who we love just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more.
20. You know what? We love 24 a little bit more, and we love 29 a little bit more. You could be number 29 by going to patreon.com/universebox. And remember to think outside. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I guess we should get back into the main discussion. Dawn, it looks like your video is not back yet. Skype is not done updating.
Yeah, it won't let me connect. It says that that we're not connected. So
Perfect.
I thought I'd just leave it alone in case.
Yeah, just don't touch it.
disconnects.
Yeah, so it doesn't dump you or something for sure. Okay, let's see here. You know what, Dawn? We're going to change it up. We're going to let you take the next point here. We'll mix up the order here a little
You're gonna
bit, too.
confuse
So
me.
why don't you go down to your point F and lay it on us?
Oh, okay. You want me to
Yep.
go down to my point, not to read your point?
Yeah, don't
Right.
read his point.
No, you take my point, I'll take your point.
Which would be hard because I want to talk about Lost, and you haven't seen Lost yet. So,
Not the entire thing, about half of the first season.
I left a really great voicemail for you guys that I'm guessing you're not going to play since I'm on the show. But
Yeah,
Yep, sorry.
it got cut. I'm sorry.
it was brilliant and concise, and I have no idea what I said. So,
What was it? There was something about a theory way or something like that. It was a
theory on theory action.
hot theory on theory action.
Because, like, I've been theorizing over Lost since its second season.
Nice.
And so I'm still theorizing over Lost. It's a habit that I can't break. And one of my many Lost theories was that they didn't really like the way it turned out, and that once was kind of a do-over. Because the shows have so much in common and so many common themes and actors and even some of the vague storylines. Like, well, I mean, the overarching theme of Lost was redemption, because all these people on the island kind of got a second chance on the island. I don't think that's spoiling it for you, is it?
I was just about to say, let's watch where this goes.
Yeah, well, you guys are only like halfway through season 1 right now.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're really early still.
So I don't know if you got that feeling yet.
Yes. A bit.
That these people, like, I mean, you know just enough of their backstories to know that maybe who they present themselves to be on the island isn't necessarily who they were before.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So there's this whole idea of redemption. It led a lot of people to theorize, when they're about where you are now, that the Lost Island was purgatory. And the guys in charge were all over the internet saying it's not purgatory. It's not purgatory. It's not purgatory, and it's not nanobots. And that was all they would tell us.
Nice.
So we theorized, and we had loads of podcasts, and we all got to know each other, and we watched this show together for 6 years, and we knew it wasn't purgatory, but, or nanobots.
So in this one, they decided no, it is.
It's just purgatory. It's straight up
Right,
purgatory.
right. My second Lost theory is that it actually was supposed to be purgatory, but everybody figured it out so early that they dropped it and had to write something else. So, so I feel like once, which is kind of a do-over for Lost, they actually went to purgatory this time, which is awesome, right? It backs up my theory that they're the same show.
Yeah. But one's on an island and one has a bunch of fairy tale characters.
Well, you can definitely tell that they're having as much trouble letting Lost go as the viewers are sometimes.
I think so.
Just because they've brought in so many cast members, and even up this past week, they did an interview where they were like, "No, we're gonna beat Lost. Like, we're gonna have more seasons than Lost, or something like that." So, like,
there's like
it's a do-over. Like the people in charge were like, Lost didn't turn out like we wanted it to. Let's do this other show.
Nice. I think it always comes down to the creators, because so animated shows have so many, actor crossovers and stuff like that. It's just like Sorkin shows. You can't, like, if you have an Aaron Sorkin show, you have at least half the same cast, just in different roles. So, I think that, you just get used to who you work with, and you know how they work, and you know that they listen to you. So I think that's a little bit of it.
But last week you guys were talking all about like how you were tired of the redemption arc.
I'm so sick of the redemption arc. Yes,
And
we
my
want a
feeling
villain
was
arc.
that the whole show is always about nothing but redemption.
Yeah.
So I was saying that Cruella, I think Cruella is a really interesting character, but for me, she was a little off the mark because she was just criminally insane, and they killed her, and nobody got her like mental help, which is what she needed. They just killed her.
Yeah.
And I don't know what her unfinished business is, but I guess it's that she probably needs mental help because she's criminally insane.
She needs one more glass of gin.
She does need some more ice cold gin.
Yeah, like I still think Cruella is like a little bit like lost. I mean, not. Oh, I didn't mean
All capitals
like,
lost.
where she's off the mark. Where are they going to redeem her or not, or they just like made her eyebrows black and that she's just for comic relief now.
The actress needed some money.
You know what I do like, though, is that last week we were complaining about the redemption arcs. We were like, what about a corruption arc?
And here it is.
Yeah, because Gaston had a complete corruption arc, because in his first appearance back in the day, he came off as, poor Belle's fiance. He got turned into a flower because he was trying to save her. He seemed like a really good guy, unlike the movie character.
Yeah.
And then this episode, he has evil glowy eyes and the magic mirror and everything.
Well, but the thing is,
he fooled me too. I thought he was going to be a good guy.
Right, but he actually even addresses that his downfall was that he tried to be like Belle and she made him weak, which is the character that we saw before.
Yeah.
So we saw the end of it.
That's really good, and it leads me into my last point.
And you're welcome.
So I'll go ahead and do my last point here. In that's that I think that Hell's Belle is completely full of herself. Her belief that Gaston's unfinished business was her shows that in a lot
of herself.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, she's just as narcissistic as Rumpelstiltskin. It's hard to believe that even after the flashback incident, she couldn't believe. She still believed that Gaston was a great guy, and he's just heartbroken because he lost me and everything. And like I said, I'm glad they redeemed him, but I totally forgot that Rumple never told Belle that he turned Gaston into a flower, and then didn't he make her like trim him up and put her in the put him in the vase?
Yes.
So, as Rumple said, in the heat of the moment, you do whatever it takes. But yet Belle, throughout a lot of this episode, seems like she's still holding a very moral high ground here.
Right.
And, I feel like the fact that she thinks that she knows what's right over anybody else.
Yeah.
Particularly someone who has a couple hundred years on her.
Right.
Not that he necessarily knows what's right. But, I think it, again, points to that whole narcissistic personality that Belle has. And, I'm wondering, with the push, with finally, one, admitting to herself that she likes Rumpelstiltskin for him, for the monster and the man.
She likes me for me.
And the fact that she pushes Gaston and kind of embraces her dark side a little bit when it counts. Like, I'm wondering if this isn't going to be the beginning of Dark Belle.
That would be lovely.
She didn't even trust herself with Rumple's dagger anymore. Like, she gave it back to him, like her hand shaking. No, I can't. No, just take it back.
She was holding it when she pushed Gaston in the...
Yeah.
So that's why.
But I felt she was giving it away because she was like, oh my God, what have I done? Like, no, I can't even hold this right now because I can't be in control of the dark one right now because, I can be dark too. I kind of feel, wherever they're going with this character, that this is going to make the character much, much more interesting. Again, already has, like we were saying, it feels like old school Once Upon a Time again.
Nice. It's just nice that she got to have an episode to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope it doesn't, she doesn't completely drop off because after this, she's getting pretty pregnant.
Hope and Unseen Viewer both vote for Hell's Belle as the title of the episode. That might be happening.
That might be happening.
What do you think, Dawn? Do you think Belle's narcissistic, or am I full of smoke here?
No, I mean, she is, but I don't even want to focus on that because they make her stupid and useless, and she wasn't in this episode, and I liked seeing her actually do stuff and be a person. And,
yeah, she was actually a character. She wasn't just
She said what she wanted, and she did things whether people liked it or not.
And she made mistakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
She was a human.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that works.
For once.
But she wasn't asleep.
She wasn't asleep.
That's very true. It's very rare to have an episode with Belle being awake all the time. It's really surprising too, especially considering she's pregnant. Pregnant ladies sleep a lot.
Preach. Preach.
She must be one of those weird people who doesn't crave pickles and stays awake all the time when they're pregnant.
That happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
Those poor women.
Okay, well, you wanted to talk about somebody else who has become a bit more of a character in the past couple episodes, right, Emery?
Which one?
Emma.
Okay, well, I don't know because you're jumping all around. I didn't know which point I was allowed to talk about.
I'm changing it up.
I can't handle that. Okay, so Emma, I think the savior needs a little saving here, people. She looks, let me just go with this because this description made me happy. She looks like a college senior who's been awake all semester and still doesn't know if she's going to be able to finish or pass or even graduate. She looks 100% defeated and like she's about to go full Jessie Spano. I'm so excited on us.
I'm so scared.
I'm so scared. If you don't get the reference, you're too young. Go away. No, not really. But like... She's like, I feel like I failed everyone. This is a terrible plan. Like, I'm wearing a baggy t-shirt that I don't know where it came from. My hair is nasty and I have bags under my eyes. What? Like, she doesn't even look like she's wearing her own clothes, which, I mean, I guess they've been down there, like, who knows how long.
Mm-hmm.
She's not. That was one of my points. Like, I don't know where I put that. But...
Oh, the something about the jacket getting lost? Was that you?
Why is she wearing a giant parka and an oversized t-shirt? Like,
yes.
I thought maybe she was pregnant too. Like in real life, is the actress pregnant?
No.
Not that I know.
Not that I.
Why they dress her like that? Does she wear a red leather jacket? Isn't that what Emma does?
Yeah, like
that's what she wore down to the underworld.
Exactly.
Why?
Exactly. The
maybe it moved on to a better place.
Maybe it did. Maybe it went to Mount Olympus.
I noticed this episode, it was really distracting for me that they were all wearing winter coats
and
because
black.
They went to the underworld and the shirts. With
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah, that got me when Zelina and Belle landed in the underworld last episode too. That they landed in like a pile of snow. Like that's like a thing, isn't it? Like it'll be a cold day in hell.
Yeah. I didn't even catch that.
Underworld ever.
Yeah. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Super weird.
That's so weird, especially with all the rockets of steam everywhere that don't make any sense.
Although as Floridians, snow is its own type of hell.
True story.
That we moved away from.
That we did move away from. Okay, what else?
Yeah, she looks awful, and I don't know why they made her. Why?
Well,
like, is there a reason that she should look terrible and doubt herself?
It sort of leads me to my next little bit. When was the last time any of these characters slept, other than the 5 minutes that Emma just passed out on a roof? Like, this might be one of my biggest pet peeves with television shows. I'm not sure why. I can't let it go. Like, y'all, they have to sleep.
Well, it's this show in particular, because generally once a season gets rolling, there's no time in between the episodes. It's kind of like it just keeps rolling.
Yeah.
For a lot.
I can't function. And it's like, did Regina magically make like a 5-hour energy potion that just actually lasts for weeks? And they're all like crashing real hard. Like Emma's crashing. She's done. Like her energy drink wore off. She's done and ragged. And like her and Hook don't really seem like who they were in Storybrooke, in Camelot. They're barely like acknowledging each other. They're fighting all the time, and more like quippy fighting, but fighting.
Well,
is this what happens when you date someone who's dead? Sorry, that got loud.
No,
but
it's
he's dead.
Like, but I mean, look at Hook though, because he was super cynical about everything, about maybes and have tos and this and that. But then when Emma said it, he was like, okay, I can get behind that. Yeah. So I mean, he was supportive of her.
I know. It just seems very, I don't know. I just, they're not who they were. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's just because Emma is so Jessie Spano right now.
Yeah, I do see over in the chat room they're talking a lot about my diagnosis of Belle as narcissistic. There's two different types of narcissism. There is the clinical disorder, and there's the character trait. I was talking about the character trait, not the clinical disorder. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That's a whole different thing. But the character trait, I think Belle completely exhibits.
Yeah.
And Rumpelstiltskin does too. Like, so just saying. Just saying. Yeah, but Emma's getting kind of mopey. I did like that she finally... I think it's the first time any of the heroes have called their plans terrible. And, I mean, they're kind of right.
It is terrible. They should have never gone down to the underworld. I'm sorry. Dead is dead.
But she should have thought, I mean, all those things she said were true, but you'd think they would have come up before they went to the underworld.
Or that they'd been there a week and a half and they're like, oh, can we just go home? I want my own bed. This is awful. How do we get out of here?
Hey, let's go to hell and save the guy who wanted to be dead. Nothing bad will happen. Leave the babies. It'll be fine.
Leave the babies. Okay, wait, before we go to that, I have one more thing that I didn't really have anywhere to fit. Okay. I was bringing it back to my head because I was sort of stalling. Okay, so Belle says something about when she was talking to Hook that when his brother moved on, it hurt Hades. Mm-hmm. When did Belle talk to Hook? She hasn't talked to any of them.
No, she's talked to them a little bit, hasn't she?
No,
because she came around and told them about the baby.
Did she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay, because that really...
Yeah, because that's why they went looking for the baby. Or no, when they went looking for the baby, they found Belle.
Okay. Oh, yes, they had to have... Okay, because I was just sitting there going, I do not, for the life of me, remember a scene with Belle and these other characters.
They had lunch at Bizarro Granny's.
Everybody has lunch at Bizarro Granny. She knows what they're eating, though.
Nice.
So there's that then. I guess that was pointless.
Well, Emma's kind of behavior in this episode brings something to mind that I kind of noticed.
Yes.
Is the rise of cynicism among all of the main characters in the show.
Yes.
The heroes are all becoming cynical and hopeless, which is, in a lot of interpretations, that's what hell or purgatory is supposed to do. It's supposed to kind of sap your will from you to where... there's torture, there's, madness, all that kind of stuff. There's fire, there's brimstone, but there's also the sense of hopelessness that this will never end.
Yeah.
And in that case, I think Hades is doing his job really well here. Mm-hmm. I mean, he seems like he's kind of scared that he's going to lose, but I think he might be just playing that way to give them a little bit of hope, to snatch it away, to bring them down even deeper. Mm-hmm. I mean, as you mentioned, Emma is lost after realizing she screwed up by not listening to Neil.
Yep. But could they really have turned around at that point?
I think
they were already on the boat.
They could have turned around as soon as they got there.
That's true. They could have, because they still had the boat.
Definitely. Belle dams Gaston to the River of Lost Souls. Regina makes a very cynical, I thought, emotional appeal to her sister to eke out information, causing Zelina to become even more cynical when she realizes her sister doesn't care and is just using her, pumping her for information, And the only one, I think, out of the whole group who doesn't seem more cynical now is Snow. But wasn't she supposed to stop giving inspirational speeches? Wasn't that a big thing a couple episodes ago? I'm going to stop being hope speech, and I'm going to start being more kick butt Snow.
Yeah, but Snow White was always pretty hope speechy too.
Yeah,
Maybe it's just the fact that it's not sappy and not followed up. Mm-hmm. Because now this time she's like, all right, I'm going to come with you. And Emma's like, no, you can't come with me. She's like, no, I'm coming with you. So before she'd have just been like, okay, Emma, I'll go over here. So thankfully she's not doing that anymore.
But, I do see one character coming out of cynicism soon enough, and that's Zelina. Because I think she has just not been wanting to admit that someone could love her, and she was feeling a bit of warmth from the main cast of characters last episode. So she was like, well, maybe I don't have to, see if Hades is being legit or not, even with his creepy stalkerism, the crazy ex-boyfriend kind of thing. But I definitely, I think when she gets that rose, I think the spark kind of comes there for her, and she's like, okay, maybe I can try this. And I don't think that's going to bode well for our cynical heroes. I feel like if Hades and Zelina get together, that it's going to spell nothing but doom for everybody except maybe Zelina's baby.
That's true.
Speaking of Zelina's baby, what was the deal with Regina giving Zelina the basic location of the baby in their conversation? Because what wasn't part of the reason Robin took the baby to the woods to hide the baby from Zelina too? Now Zelina knows the rough location where the baby is. And plus, You know, I
See, exactly.
yeah, I feel like if he's anywhere in the underworld, Hades probably knows anyway.
Exactly.
So the
Like-
one person who didn't know, who wasn't supposed to know, now knows, thanks to Regina's big mouth.
Like, legitimately, he was probably safest in the apartment where everyone lives because there was other people there.
Yeah.
Off in the woods all by himself. He's like, I can defend my child. How are you going to, like, use a bow and arrow while holding a newborn?
Against the god of the underworld.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they're not these special magic arrows that Hades has.
Exactly.
They're just normal arrows.
Hey, did he do his blue hair thing in this one?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did when he propositioned Gaston.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the proposition hair.
Yeah.
Well, it's always like when he approaches somebody for something, he blue hairs and like shakes his locks for everyone.
Yeah, but I do feel like that's going to come
Bite him
back
in the
and bite
pooks.
them. Yeah, in the end. Definitely. They're talking about Pan in the chat room. Where is Pan?
Exactly. Well, I don't know because at the beginning of this episode we had Rumple looking at his pan. Like, was he gonna summon his dad and be like, "Yo," like, yeah, I can't whistle. Like, I don't know what he's gonna. Where is Pan?
I don't know. That's
Like,
the
he
biggest
was
question
done
on my
filming
mind.
Heroes Reborn by this point. Like, what's going on, man? Come back.
I don't know. Maybe he slipped up to Storybrooke when they weren't looking.
How?
No, I'm kidding. But Dawn, you had a bunch of random points here at the end. I'm going to give you the floor. Go through your random points and we'll discuss them.
Random points. Well, I guess we talked about Emma already.
A little bit.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
Do we want to talk about Ruby yet?
Oh, we can.
We can talk a little bit
No,
about Ruby.
give me a minute.
Okay. You know what?
Hope already in the chat room had talked about how she wants these new characters to stay on longer, but I'm like, I don't want any new characters. I don't want any new characters at all.
Yeah.
These ones they bring on for like 1 or 2 episodes, it makes me mad because I only want to know what the main cast is doing, and I don't care about anybody else anymore.
Yes, I kind of agree. Like, I don't mind having them there, but they shouldn't be the focus of the episode. Like, it's becoming like Law and Order SVU. We bring
Hercules
up.
made me really mad. I guess you guys liked Hercules, but I did not like Hercules.
Oh,
really?
we loved Hercules.
I did not like Hercules at all.
Hey,
I liked Merida was infuriating. Like,
Well, yes.
Yes.
So bad.
Yes, Merida was infuriating.
And why? Like, we don't need, like, don't we? You just brought the whole cast to the underworld. You don't have a story to tell with them, really.
You can bring back all these characters we haven't seen in forever and give them like a nice
Or
little
ever.
story or an arc. Like Liam could have had like a whole couple episode arc. The
Yes.
Blind Witch could have a new
Something.
focus or something like that. Instead, you're throwing in a new character like
They're
every week or
throwing in
two.
everything
Yeah.
they can.
so that they can, like, help him along the way to the next place, like it's Saved by an Angel or whatever, or like some Touched
Yeah.
by an Angel.
Touched
or
by an
whatever.
Angel, yeah, with Michael
Highway
Landon.
to the
Yeah.
Angel
Aw.
Highway.
The
Or
angel on my way.
No, yeah, Touched by an Angel was Della Reese, and then Highway to Heaven was Michael Landon. Yeah,
It's all the
yes.
same story, right?
yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
they've changed the whole premise of the show into Highway to Heaven.
like, I kind of, with the new characters, I don't know if we need to keep bringing in new characters. Let's just revisit the characters we already have and get a story.
Tell us what they're doing.
Right. We've
going
seen enough
forward.
people die on this show. Like, tell us their story
Right.
or get us out of the underworld. Like, I don't know what they think they're going to do how or they're going to be Hades and what that's going to do for them. I think I said this last week. Like, that's
Yeah.
going to mess up the balance of, like, life. Kind of. Like,
Yeah, I got
he has
the impression,
his place.
I got the impression they were supposed to be out of the underworld by now from preseason spoilers and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
really?
Yeah, but I guess
So why did they drag it on?
I don't know.
Maybe it's
I liked getting the Regina's dad's story. That was like, it filled in a little missing piece, and I thought that was nifty.
Yeah.
But most, like, I mean, I know you liked Hercules, but I did not like Hercules, and
Yeah.
I felt like it was wasting my time because I tuned in to see how are my people going to get out of the underworld, and they're not even trying.
Yes, that's the thing, is they're not even trying to leave. They're just trying to help all these other people they're not helping themselves. Like, it's like they want to stay there. And you know what? If Belle and Rumple would like to raise their baby in the underworld, can we fix their names on the stones and move on with our lives?
Well, see,
Right, they got an apartment already. So.
Exactly.
see, I'm starting to think that whole dynamic is part of the whole like cynicism that I mentioned earlier, and the hopelessness. Like, it's not that the characters aren't motivated; it's that hell is working exactly as intended, which is causing them to lose their motivation. It's not they're personally unmotivated to get back.
Terrible.
It's
okay,
just,
I'll buy that because that explains like why Emma looks terrible and is all doubting herself and
Yeah.
it's all like the magic of the underworld.
definitely. Okay, and you wanted to talk about the return of a character right at the end of the episode too, right, Dawn?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you guys probably did the same thing I did, right? And you're like, you watched the fishnets go by.
Yes.
And you're like, is Ruby down there? And then she was.
Yes.
I got really excited. It sounded like you guys weren't as excited as I was.
We're not so excited.
Well, I
because
think-
her last appearance was in the Canadian bootleg.
Yeah.
So
And I think we just saw that episode when we saw Ruby.
yes,
and
Ruby
I was
appeared.
like,
I was like, no.
I was like, oh no! Like, and it does. The promo for next week kind of felt almost like a Canadian bootleg. Like it's going to be
Yes.
like separate from everybody else, a completely separate.
It's a whole new
adventure.
story. Yes.
Which worries
Yeah,
me.
well,
It's very worrying.
I mean, I'm not like. I loved Ruby like in the beginning, and I was all about her. But like bringing her back and trying to tell like a different story about her, and I'm not really excited about that. But it was good to see her back, and I think she's going to be reunited with this gang. Like maybe they'll tell us
Yeah.
a story we want instead of a story we don't want.
Or sing us a story we want.
Sing us a story. Sing us a rhyme.
Very appropriate song for this episode.
Exactly. I kept humming it. So wait, going with Ruby though, where did she get the cloak? Like, where did was the cloak just there? Like, she was a wolf when she came. She didn't have the cloak.
Maybe it came over in the cyclone too.
That's the only way, and that's how they're gonna sell it. So never mind. But
Yeah.
that just bothered the heck out of me. I was like, what? Oh, we're in the middle of the underworld, and suddenly Ruby's cloak is just laying here.
I think we all have to agree though that Zelina's involved somehow, right?
Did you not watch the you watched the
I watched
preview.
I mean, as far
I didn't
as
see the preview.
You
I don't know
didn't?
anything.
we saw her confronting Ruby, but I mean involved in bringing Ruby to the underworld somehow, like because we still don't know how Zelina got to Storybrooke
Yeah.
from Oz. So
Yeah.
I'm maybe they hopped a cyclone.
No, Merida's coming back too.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's been the rumor. That's been
No,
the rumor.
she's posting stuff from filming on Instagram.
She's like easily the worst part of the show overall.
See, but I actually like her character. I don't
She's
think
just
they
not
gave
written
her.
well.
No, she's not written well at all. She is exactly what that character should be. She is like the physical embodiment of what I pictured that when I saw the movie. I like Amy Manson as Merida. I do not like what Once Upon a Time did to Merida. Mm-hmm. Sorry, that just got really emotional, didn't it?
Well, it's okay. It's okay. It's the Canadian bootleg. It's supposed to get emotional.
Bootleg!
Okay, but to end on some other emotional stuff, Anne-Marie,
Yeah.
you wanted to wrap up
Oh,
here.
you're gonna let me go back to that point that I thought you were just skipping?
No, I'm skipping around. I'm skipping
Don't
around.
do that again.
Regina and Zelina, go.
All right, so
Oh yeah, it's good. It's
Regina
good.
and Zelina, I actually think they have a potential sisterhood friendship thing happening.
Yes.
Like, I think if Regina wouldn't have leaned in so hard and quick as to what Hades' weakness is, which of course it's because the show's only an hour long and we can't drag this out. I think there was more potential. If they'd have literally just sat there, had a croissant and a coffee, and talked. And, like, they've both lost so much, over time. Yes, there's been jealousy here, there, and everywhere, but they could probably get past it. People have gotten past worse. But I think the fact that Regina exploited the opportunity to try and find out Hades' weakness, that I think there's still a little tinge of possibility. I think it's all going to figure out what happens with Pistachio.
Yes.
It's all about baby Pistachio.
I think that Zelina showed like a moment of humanity there,
Yeah.
and I'm saying that she's on the road to redemption. I just know it.
You mean Zelina?
Oh yeah, what did I say?
You said Regina. I was like, she's
Zelina.
quote unquote redeemed.
Zelina, I'm all for redeeming Zelina because it's gonna be so hard for them to make that work, and I want them to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can go two ways. Either Zelina gets with Hades and nothing doing, or we're gonna see it happen. Although her and Hades originally hooked up, trying to do a time travel spell. Maybe Hades will do a time travel spell, go back in time and make it to where like they grew up as sisters or something, and maybe then they'll have a really good sisterly relationship.
Well, I'm sure they would if they grew up as sisters.
And Bobby in the chat room says apparently I'm the only one who will defend the Canadian bootleg, or apparently I'm the sole defender of the bootleg. And Hope says Bobby, Knight Defender of Canadian bootlegs. Excellent.
Yes.
That's your new.
I've got an evil sister in real life, and we've never been able to make it work. But I really have hope for Regina and Zelina. I see so much of me and my sister in that little conversation that they had there, because that's exactly how it always goes. Like where there's moments where you think you connect and then you don't.
Nice.
Nice. Well, at least it'll be realistic then.
Yeah, it actually rang true to me somehow.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so I guess it's come time now at the 50-minute mark.
So we talked a lot tonight, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we did. It's okay though, because we have been talking a lot with guests, but it's nice because we have great guests like Dawn on who we haven't talked to in forever.
I know. It's nice because then we get their perspective on really the whole season as a whole. Anyway, continue.
Definitely. And I'm going to post this in the chat room too, so everyone can vote on it. Tonight's arbitrary scale. Let's see here. Out of 3,766 Rumple dummies, Jesus. How many Rumple dummies do you give this episode? Anne-Marie, we'll start with you. 3,766 Rumple dummies.
3,472 and a pinky.
I'm surprised. Why so high?
I have no idea because the number threw me off and I tried to be creative. Okay. I liked it. I didn't like it. There was good. There was bad. I'm really not excited for next week. Let's just get out of hell. This is where I'm at now. Like, wasn't there a point where, like, a few seasons ago where we're like, can we just move on? And then I think it might have been Frozen, where it's like, just go. just stop.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. That was really bad.
That was really bad.
Dawn, save us. Out of 3,766 Rumple dummies, how many Rumple dummies do you give this episode?
I want to say how about 3,666 because we're in the underworld.
That's perfect. No justification needed.
That's awesome.
That's it. We don't need to hear why. I mean, that number says enough on its own. Good job, Dawn. Good job. Okay, let's see here. Over in the chat room, we have Bobby with 3,758 Rumple dummies. Amy P says 3,500 Rumple dummies. I liked it for Gaston, but not for Rumple. Hope gives it 3,600 Rumple dumplings. No, Rumple dummies.
No dumplings.
And 1 cup of bubble tea. That will accept.
Oh, she corrected in the next thing. Dummies.
Yeah, and then Unseen Viewer says an even 3,000. It was an okay episode. Progression for Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. Did not like the Emma and company plot. A bit interested in Ruby's adventure in Oz. And Monica gives it 1,800.
Did you just say Monahee?
No, I said Monica.
Oh, okay.
1,883 Rumple dummies. Mad, just don't care about this episode.
Nice.
The harshest Rumple dummy
of all.
Yeah, definitely. And Angel T gives it 3,570 and a wig. Nice. I did like quite a bit about this episode. I like the backstory with Belle and Gaston, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do with the whole Belle and Rumple thing now. And finally, Zelina fan 149, who might be a new person in our chat room.
I think they are.
Or newish. 3,050 Rumple dummies, and I hope I never have to say Rumple dummy again because it's really hard to say.
Rumple dumplings.
Over and over again.
Can we just go with dumplings?
No.
But I want a dumpling.
If we set the precedent that people can change the scale anytime they want,
we can't.
We will get.
We had issues last night.
We will get 1,000 new scales every episode. Okay, Dawn, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me. It was awesome.
Why don't you tell people where they can find you online? I'm
Dawn Owar, all one word. Dawn Owar. Everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you got.
Don't
Tumblr.
you have a blog too?
Yeah, that's dawnslife.com. That's my Tumblr actually. But
Oh, okay.
Nice.
But it has a domain name, so it's all legit.
It's a legit.
yeah, I love domain names. I'm dawnowar.com too, I think.
Nice.
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 Where, you can read about me going to see heavy metal shows and walking my cats on leashes.
Do you
No,
take
you
the cats
don't.
do you take the cats to the heavy metal shows?
No, cats don't like heavy metal that much.
No.
You know, that is true. That is true. I did read that in my cat cyclopedia.
Your cat cyclopedia.
My cat cyclopedia.
That's
Okay,
fantastic.
Dawn, thank you so much. We love you. Thank you
Yes,
for coming.
thank
me.
you,
It was
thank
great.
you.
And we'll look forward to your week late voicemails going forward.
All right.
Okay,
Yay.
bye.
Yay.
Bye.
I loved having Dawn
I
on.
know, I've
it was
missed
so
her.
nice. It's been so long. It's been
Yes.
so very long. And now, on to the news.
News.
First up, the ratings. Once Upon a Time got a 1.2 in adults, 18 to 49, and was adjusted up a tenth of a point. Still
Yes.
pretty low from the high
It was.
fine. Like, what were we? We were in like the threes last season, weren't we?
No.
I thought we were in the threes.
Well,
at
then
least
that
at
is
first.
a massive drop. And
Yeah.
you know why we were? Because last season in the beginning was Frozen.
Very true.
That's why
true.
it was such a big thing.
Yeah, and I mean, and we've stated this on both of our fan casts before, but it is true. TV ratings are down across the board because
I think it's really obvious. Like, if you have stations like the CW who renewed everything, like a month or two out from finales, like, I think you're gonna. That's just they're accepting that ratings are a lot lower now. Kind of.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
yeah,
little
well,
bit.
I think the thing is,
Mr. I work in TV. What does that mean?
I can't say officially. No, but I think a lot of people are realizing that you know, people are watching on the web,
Yeah.
people are watching later on DVRs and stuff like that. So ratings are down, but they're down across the board, so it still equals out to about the same thing.
Yeah.
And they are starting to take you know, online viewing
Into
a lot more
consideration.
seriously.
They
Yeah.
have to. They absolutely have to take online into consideration.
And I will
So-
say Dawn Owar's in the chat room now.
Yay!
Awesome. Yay. Okay, and now we're going to watch the preview for next week, Ruby Slippers. Let's see what they have cooking for us here. Okay, we have
Zelina
the Three
laughing.
Amigos from the Canadian bootleg.
No, that's not the Three
Oh,
Amigos.
no, that's not the
That's
Three
Warrior
Amigos.
Dorothy.
Warrior Dorothy.
Yes,
Hanging out with
because
Warrior Dorothy.
yes, it's the two Amigos and Warrior Dorothy.
And some flying monkeys.
Of
Glad to see
course.
those characters. I'm glad to see back.
Yeah, we're good. It's going to be a lot of Oz.
And a lot of Zelina and Hades, and Hades making that face. Is his hair going to turn blue? I don't know.
Maybe.
He was talking to them in Granny's / the Blind Witch's Diner, though.
Like, the one thing you might want to turn that off before it starts playing again.
That's fair. Oh, you know, we didn't even show that on screen. That's fine though.
Oh, okay, good. Lovely. Shoot. Oh, no, not Regina. Zelina says something about being scared for when they find out what she did to Red. Mm-hmm. So that ought to be it. It's slightly interesting, at least.
Definitely.
Makes me so mad because I really like the actresses who play all these characters, and it's just no.
I'm really nervous.
Yes, I want to say cautiously optimistic, but meh.
Yeah, very nervous. Could be
Yeah.
exciting. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But you know what? When that episode airs, we definitely want to hear what you think about it. And you know, since we don't record on Monday nights anymore, you don't have to run.
But maybe you should.
You can take your time. Leave your babies up there in Storybrooke.
Leave the babies.
They'll be fine.
Do not
Those-
take the babies
Blue
down.
Fairy totally isn't evil. She'll take care of your baby. Don't worry about it.
Shade of blue.
Just go down to the Blind Witches, get a tuna sandwich, and then email us, greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. Tweet us at GFStorybrooke. The Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352. And as usual, we're going to start off with Bobby. Take it away, Bobby.
Bobbert.
The defender of the Canadian bootleg, or the knight of the bootleg.
Night of the defending
Hey
bootlegs.
guys, it's Bobby.
Hey.
We all know that the show has been floundering for the last season or two, which is a shame because at its best, what I love about this show is that it can use like fantasy and literary characters to make us think about real life situations, you know, redemption, who among us is beyond redemption? Is anyone beyond redemption?
Me.
Just how far is too far? Good, dark, light. Is anything in real life really that cut and dry? Sometimes the ends do justify the means, and how far are you willing to go?
Yeah.
It makes you think about, makes you put yourself in that situation and make you think, what would I do? And it garners conversation among, my family, me and my kids after we watch the show, among us in the chat room. And that's what I love about this show. And that's what really makes it a shame that over the past season or two that it's become what it has. But it's so I don't even know how to feel about it. I really loved last night's episode, but I don't know, like, I love it, but it also reminds me of what this show could be or should be. Wow. Okay. So anyway, arbitrary scale, Lost Souls in the River of Souls, I will give it out of 47, I'll give it 42. I really love this. You know what? 44. I really love this episode. But like I said, it also made me remember and realize just what this show can be.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, that's the thing, too. And up until that last minute when we got kind of hints of the Canadian bootleg, I definitely, I felt like it felt like old-timey once. And like I said, even down to the actor's performance, Robert Carlyle seemed like he was having a really fun time playing Rumple.
He actually cared about what he was doing.
Where he's kind of been it's felt phoned in the past several episodes, definitely. Yeah. But okay, next up we have a new caller, Andrea. Take it away, Andrea.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Anne-Marie.
Hello.
This is Andrea from Los Angeles.
Andrea,
also,
sorry.
I'm the one on Twitter who said, as a Rumbeller, I will be doing Rumbell squeals. So here they are. Yeah.
Not a squeal.
Okay.
This is a
Yeah,
squeal.
more of a whispered.
This is a squeal.
Her handsome hero. It was great. Love the fact that Rumble were working together, being honest with each other, and using magic together, figuring out how to solve the problems of their baby. And I love the ending where, they got rid of that nuisance Gaston. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Bye.
But wait.
There's
Bill and Anne-Marie. This is Andrea from Los Angeles. Again, the Rumbeller. And I have 2 more points to make. I forgot to add. 1, the important part was Belle realized that there was not a black and white view of the world, that there are shades of gray. And 2, the Snow White has short-term memory, because how could she say that everyone wanted to come down to the underworld? No, Snow, no, everyone did not want to come down to the underworld. In case you've forgotten, their daughter blackmailed Rumple to get down there. So either she has short-term memory or the writers. Okay, that's all I have to say. Love your podcast, and can't wait to listen this week's episode. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Always nice to hear from new people. We have a bunch of letters
There's
from
a
new
lot of
people
new
too,
people
so.
this week. It's fantastic.
Or at least as far as we remember.
Yeah,
They're
so
new.
if you're not new, sorry. We're tired.
But before that, we have one more voicemail from an oldie but a goodie. Tim. Take it away, Tim, unseen viewer.
Hello.
Hello.
Bill.
Hello.
Anne-Marie. This is Tim, also known in the chat as Unseen Viewer. And I just happen to have a little bit of a song to describe her handsome hero.
Ooh.
No one lies like Gaston, has red eyes like Gaston. No one gives you an ogre surprise cut like Gaston. Too bad Belle pushed him into the soul river. My, what a guy, that Gaston. Yeah, I know.
That was awesome.
I could not think of
I stopped him. No, I really wish I had listened to these beforehand, because
That would have just been the opening.
Yeah, we totally would have played that like right up around the Patreon read. But go ahead, Tim.
Go ahead.
Awesome job.
with the verses, but let's talk about the rest of the episode.
Okay.
So, I'm trying very hard not to say anything, but Emma's dream foreshadowing, surprise. Let's just say that the Lost writers may be familiar with that, and that's all I'll say.
Spoilers.
Also,
Spoilers.
poor Ruby. How did Ruby die? What happened to Ruby? I love her so much. Yeah. Also, Regina's girl talk with Zelina. Yeah, love that. Absolutely love that. Does Regina want Zelina to be with Hades? Maybe. Okay. So those are my thoughts. Bye.
Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you so much, Tim.
That song was awesome. You know what? Actually, I'm going to declare it right now. Normally, at the beginning of the audio version of the podcast, I put a little clip from the episode.
Yeah.
Nixing it. Tim's song going right up front before us. Thank you, Tim. That was awesome. Okay, you want to read this letter here?
Sure. Dear greetings from Storybrooke. This is the first season I've listened to your podcast, and I thought it would be awesome to join in the conversation. Yes, it is awesome.
Thank you, Kristen.
I loved this episode. I thought it was interesting that they had Belle push Gaston into the lake, but I could tell that it was coming to that because she wouldn't let Rumple do it, and Hades seemed pretty adamant that Gaston won't be moving on. Also, I'm a big shipper of Captain Swan. So
Yay!
Boo. So this episode was cute to watch because Hook believes and supports Emma in ways that only Neil did. And that ending made me want to watch the next episode right away. I love Red, and I'm excited to see her and Mulan in action again. I'm wondering if Red will be Mulan's new love interest. What do you guys think?
I think that's reasonable.
I think it's reasonable, but we also have Warrior Dorothy.
Yeah, that's true too.
And Merida, because really at this point, it's just it's a gaggle of girls. And look forward to listening to your podcast throughout the rest of the season. Kristen. Thank you, Kristen.
Yes, thank you very much, Kristen. Matt C. over on YouTube pointed out that he knows, or he says, I know the James Wood version of Hades in the Disney films was based on slick talking car salesmen and Hollywood agents. Pretty sure that's what Once Upon a Time version is going for too.
A bit.
Very agreed, Matt.
I can read it.
Okay, you can read it.
I'll read it. You're like, that's really long. Hi, Bill and Anne Marie. I want to start with a round of applause to the actor who played Gaston.
This is from Jessica, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. This actor did a way better job than the last one. Plus, he has much more chemistry with Emily DeRaven. Absolutely. I love the flashbacks between Gaston and Belle and seeing how Gaston became a villain since we saw his red eyes in the mirror. The thing that Belle kept saying was that she wanted to help Gaston move on, I'm guessing, to the better place, but since they made him a villain, doesn't that mean he would go on to a worse place? True.
She was assuming he was a good guy.
But she should have known he wasn't because he had the red eyes in the
glowy
mirror.
red eyes.
Glowy red eyes, and she was engaged.
She conveniently forgot that.
Can we not get into that?
Okay, let's get back to Jessica's letter.
It was nice to get that shout out to LeFou. That was fun. But I wish we could have seen it in the episode. I mean, how fun would that have been? I think that Zelina and Regina moment was the best moment of this whole episode. Maybe they did it since it was National Sibling Day on Sunday. That's actually really funny and possible. But it was great to see them acting like sisters for the first time, even though Regina only did it to find out Hades' weakness. But Regina, if you're hiding baby Hood, I don't think it's a good idea to say that she is with Robin in the woods.
Yes.
Thank you.
Someone agrees with me.
I noticed that the theme was Dark Belle, which is something I wanted to see since season 4. But the question is, how will she deal with that? Deal with the pushing of Gaston into the River of Souls. Someone needs to teach Belle that Rumple can never change. She gave him 4 chances and the result is the same. Even when Rumple told Belle that he promises that he won't do anything to Gaston, and I was screaming, "Don't trust him!" Though she was sneaky by kissing him to take the dagger. That was pretty impressive. Why doesn't Hook want to be the one who brings hope or agree with Regina? He's a hero after all, and where does everyone get new clothes or hats? The magic wardrobe we don't know about. Oh, is there a magic wardrobe we don't know about? And the last thing I'm going to talk about in this episode was Emma's dreams. If you are sure that your dreams are going to come true exactly like you dreamt them, maybe you shouldn't take the same people with you or hide in the same place or tell everyone that you dreamt from the beginning. Out of 100 Ogre Wars, I'll give this episode 76, just because this episode was mostly a filler and wanted to introduce Red. After seeing next week's promo, I think Dorothy was put under some kind of sleeping curse, and it'll be broken by Mulan and Red. Broken by Mulan and Red are the only ones who can break the spell. Red will go through some kind of portal because portals are easy now. So she can't help Dorothy. And I also think that Zelena came back to Storybrooke with the help of the slippers. Can't wait to hear what you two have to say, Jessica. Thank you, Jessica.
Lots of good theories there.
So
Lots of
many
good
good
comments. Thank you
theories.
for writing in too, Jessica.
Yes.
Hope over in the chat room mentions, Bill, did you realize that Hades had a Robin Hood face? I almost tweeted at you. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
When was it? Oh, he does have that.
Yeah, when he's being the stalker from Hell guy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
he did.
pretty insane. And I definitely agree, Hope. Okay, next up is Amelia, and we're going to close with this. Sorry, Ash, we had to cut yours for time a little bit.
Yeah.
We're both getting a little sore in the throat. Yeah. Amelia says, I love your podcast. Since you were so kind and answered my last letter, could you maybe give your thoughts about how Hook is handling this whole rescue? I'll remove the quotes.
rescue.
Yeah, rescue. I'll remove the quotes if they actually get him out of there.
Yeah.
He is coming across as annoyed by everything and everyone. In the first half of the season, he was almost too sweet and caring to Emma, and now he's usually standing an arm's length or more away from her, and when he smiles at her, it just doesn't show in his eyes. His sarcastic quips are funny, but come off as a bit passive-aggressive. I see him now trying to be nice and supportive, but I just get this sense that he wished that he had never come.
That they had never come.
That they had never come. I don't know. Maybe it's because I expected him to be annoyed by Emma's refusal to just let him go, and my mind is just looking for confirmation of this. I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you, Amelia. You know what?
I think it's a little bit of the fact that he literally is a dead person.
Yeah.
Like, because we kind of sort of talked about this a little bit, but I don't know. I see it too. So it's not just you.
Well, like, I think that feeds back into the whole cynicism thing I was talking about earlier, that these... Like, I mean, Hook even more so, because he's been there longer and he's supposed to be there.
Right.
You know, he's just... They're all losing their fight a little bit. You know, they're losing their hope a little bit. And I think that was more... I mean, it's been kind of subtle the past several episodes, but it was very apparent in this episode. But I will say, like I said before, you know, that his affection and respect for Emma remains pretty much unchanged and untainted. I that's how I interpreted the scene in the library and on the library and everything.
Yeah.
But definitely, I thank you again, Amelia, for writing in. Next week, when we're done with the red slippers,
Ruby slippers?
the ruby slippers, what I want you to do, I want you to click your heels 3 times. A computer's going to appear in front of you. Don't use that computer. Go find a different computer. Email us greetingsfromstorybrooke@gmail.com. Tweet us at GFStorybrooke. Facebook is facebook.com/greetingsfromstorybrooke. And the voicemail number is 424-274-2352. Again, that's 424-274-2352.
Yeah, that.
Yes. Anne-Marie, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DeSimone, or you can check out my newly resurrected blog, crunchycrafty.com.
And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Bill Meeks. You can follow all of the podcasts we do at universebox.com. And you can follow the Pied Piper of Hamelin right down to the old river and walk in it. We want to thank all of our chatters for coming out tonight. Let's see, we have Amy P, Angel T, Bobby G, Dawn Owar, who was on earlier. Thank you again, Dawn Owar, for coming up. Hope, Monica, UB and Marie, that's you.
Me.
Unseen viewer, Zelena fan. And again, the most important viewer of all, the most important chatter of all, Chanserve.
Oh, Chanserve.
We love you, Chanserve.
We love you, Chanserve.
You are the wind
Oh,
beneath
yes, we
our
do.
winds and the person who makes sure that no one floods the chat room. Thanks.
Yay.
You're the best. Okay, I guess that about does it for this week. Join us until next time. Greetings from Storybrooke. Yay, we're done.
Bobby's like, what's the G?
Yeah, Bobby asked, what does
Just
the G
because.
stand for? It stands for great.
Great.
Bobby Great Hawk. We love you guys. You're the best. You're the best. This is
You're the best.
There was no negativity in this chat room tonight.
Stop
which is
it.
No, I'm just saying that we had a run of about 4 streams where there was
true. Like the
some sort of negative thing floating around,
and
or
my
something.
mic dying, our headphones having issues, technical problems.
This was the perfect podcast
This
to end
was
the
the
week
perfect
on.
podcast.
And we're gonna pick out a name for it real quick. Although I'm pretty sure
we already picked it out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what people are gonna vote for. But I'll go ahead and paste it over here in the chat room. Episode title. Ideas.
Dawn says, "I hope they recorded that one." Yes, we
Dawn,
did. We
did.
promise. It live streamed on the internet. It's there.
Yeah, it's there for posterity. Yeah, we have Hell's Bells, Stalker from Hell, and Crazy Ex-Boyfriend.
I love Crazy Ex-Boyfriend, but I know that everybody likes Hell's
Bells.
Bell.
I like Hell's Bells too.
Yeah.
Hell's Bells
Yeah.
or Hell's Bell.
Hell's Bell.
Okay, we have one for Hell's Bell.
Let's keep a tally.
Yeah, Dawn Owar wasn't even grumpy. So, I mean, that's saying
Why would
something.
Dawn Owar be grumpy?
I don't know. That's what she said in the chat room.
You're totally not grumpy, Dawn.
No. Okay, 3 for Hell's Bell or Hell's Bell. I think if we get 1 or 2 more.
Yay!
1 or 2 more and it'll happen.
Anybody?
Hope says I didn't even click the link, so I hope that's the choice it is.
Yeah.
Unseen viewers, Hell's Bell. Bobby says Crazy Ex-Boyfriend.
Yay,
so,
Team Bobby.
better
Better than the Jabberwocky.
than the Jabberwocky. I like that one too, Dawn. Yeah, but I think we're probably going to go with Hell's Bell.
Hell's Bell.
So I guess with that, we bid you adieu.
Adieu.
We love these guys
We
down
love
here.
you too.
They're awesome. They're the best.
What are you pointing at?
The chat
Oh.
below us in the window. Yeah.
I don't know what the window looks like. I never get to see
Nowhere
it.
showed you. Here, you can see the window for 1 second.
And you put it behind something. See, I
Nice.
like being able to see my ridiculousness.
Nobody else does. Good night, guys.
Bye.